to teach you a different method for multiplying 2-digit and 3-digit numbers. It's called the lattice method. The first thing I need to do is I need to come up with a problem. I'm going to start with a 3-digit by 2-digit problem. Let's do 432 times 45. Okay, since the first number is 3 digits, I'm going to draw a lattice with 3 columns, and I'm going to label each column with one of the digits, so 432. Since the second number has 2 digits, I'm only going to need 2 rows, one for each number, 45. The next step in the lattice method is by making diagonals in the actual square. So I'm going to connect the diagonals. It's easier for me to see it when I draw dots first, connecting each corner in that line. Okay, so now the next step is you take it and you're going to multiply just like you do a regular array. So 2 times 4 is going to be my first problem. 2 times 4 is 8. I'm going to put that in the square that connects the 2. Since 8 is a 1-digit number, I'm going to put a 0 in the other space. You want to make sure every triangle has a number in it. Next, I'm going to do the first column, second row. So 2 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. So I'm going to write a 10 in that square. I'm going to start with the second column now, starting with the first row. The second column times the first row. 3 times 4. What is 3 times 4? It's 12. Okay, now continuing with the second column, I'm going to multiply it by the second row. 3 times 5. And I'm going to put the answer where it meets up, 15. Moving on to the third column, or the hundreds place. 4 times 4. It's 16. 4 times 5 is 20. Now I've done all my multiplication. Now what I'm going to do is add. That's what I have left. So, if I had a highlighter, I could do this, but I don't have a highlighter, unfortunately. So I'm going to take my color and I'm going to circle each of the diagonals just to make it clear for you as to what I am actually adding. You're going to add the diagonals this time. So the first diagonal is 0. The second one is 8 plus 1 plus 5. What is 8 plus 1 plus 5? It's 14. Bring the 4 down here. Carry the 1 to the next diagonal. So I have 1 plus 2 plus 1. And that's 4. I have nothing to carry there. Next, moving over to the next column. 2 plus 6 plus 1. And that's 9. And my last column is just the 1. So my answer for 432 times 445 is 19,440. Okay? Now if I were to do the same problem with a 3-digit by 3-digit number, let's do 145 times 282. I would need to make a 3-column by 3-row square, since each of the numbers has 3 digits. So here's 3 columns, 145, in 3 rows, 282. Now the first thing I need to do again is I need to connect the diagonals. Okay, so you're essentially just splitting each of these squares in half. diagonally. Okay, so the next part is now I need to multiply. I'm going to start with the first column, which is a 5, and I'm going to multiply it by each of the rows. So starting with the first row, 5 times 2 is 10. So I'm going to put it in the box that matches up both of those. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 2, again, is 10. Okay, now moving on to the second column, the 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Since 8 is a single-digit number, I need to put a 0 in front of it. Okay, 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 2 is again 8, so I need to put a 0 in front of that 8. Moving on to the last column, the 1s. This should be relatively easy, but remember, if it's a single digit, you need to put a 0 in front of it. 1 times 2 is 2, so we put a 0 in front of the 2. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 2 is 2. We put the 0 in the box just to hold the spot so we don't get confused when we're actually solving the problem. Okay, again, if I had a highlighter, what I would do is I would draw a line through each diagonal so I knew anything attached to that highlighter would be added together, but I don't have that. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to circle what I'm adding together. So anything in those circles, in the same circle, needs to be added together. I know it's a lot to look at right now, but if we had a highlighter, it would be much easier. Okay, so now adding them together. The first circle is a 0. The second diagonal or circle is 8 plus 1, which is 9. The second circle or diagonal is 2 plus 2 plus 4, which is 8. The next diagonal is 8 plus 3 plus 8 plus 1. What is that answer? It's 20. So I'm going to put the 0 here, carry the 2 into the next circle or diagonal. So now I'm left with 2 plus 2, which is 4, and my last column, or my last diagonal or circle is a 0. So my answer for this problem would be 40,890.